Atlantic Council events like this are not known only for bringing top-level honoraries who have accomplished extraordinary things in their respective fields, but also for distinguished introducers who in fact deserve the awards themselves. It is my pleasure to welcome to the stage Władysław Frasyniuk. As most of you know, Mr. Frasyniuk, a Wroclaw native, was a very prominent activist in the Solidarity Trade Union, a member of the SEM from 1991 to 2001. Before I introduce him to introduce Helena Luczywo and Adam Michnik, I do want to say one thing, Władek, and that is I knew a little bit something about the Polish underground, but only because once in a while leaks would come out to me as a Wall Street Journal journalist that were well placed, and who knows how they came to me. But after it was all over, there suddenly was this incredible newspaper called Gazeta Wyborcza. So whenever in the history of the world has the largest underground newspaper in history become one of the most successful commercial ventures in history? I, as the newly minted managing editor of the Wall Street Journal, wanted to do a deal. And so I came out and met with Adam, met with Helena, and we did a deal where they would regularly print a section from the Wall Street Journal. And I would get to regularly visit Poland. And we had a press conference. And I told a bit of this story this morning, so forgive me those who've already heard it. And Adam started the press conference by going on in the way Adam can, and saying, noting all the things that he had been accused of during his time in prison, and including the fact that he had been accused of being in the pocket of Wall Street. And I, as the editor of the Wall Street Journal Europe, had just done this deal with him, and he said, finally, that accusation has come true. So the great sense of humor that drives so many people who have to go through hardships is something that I've always respected in Adam. But back to Władysław Frasyniuk. Arrested for his active role in Solidarność in the 1980s, he spent time in jail and was released under a general amnesty in 1986. In 1989, he was one of the opposition delegates to the Polish Roundtable negotiations. Since we are celebrating democracy heroes tonight, we could not think of a more fitting person to introduce our next honorees, Adam Michnik and Helena Luczywo, than you, sir. Please welcome me.
Szanowni Państwo, to niezwykły zaszczyt, by móc...
Ladies and gentlemen, it's a great honor to be able to say to Helena Luczywo and Adam Michnik, thank you, thank you. Thank you. Without you, we wouldn't be free people. Without you, we wouldn't have solidarity. Ladies and gentlemen, Helena and Adam spent the majority of their adult lives to persuade others to dream about freedom. Without these dreams, we wouldn't have solidarity. We wouldn't have leaders, worker leaders. We owe them leaders who became real leaders for developments and changes in Poland. Without leadership, there is no freedom, no changes that took place in Poland. They learned worker leader sensibility to people, capability to listen, responsibility for words. They convinced these leaders to be to hold this first democratic mandate in a dignified way, even when instead of negotiators soldiers would come. Even if Adam Michnik in prison was wondering what he would receive for breakfast, Helena Luczywo was not sure what would happen in an hour. Helena Luczywo, she created foundations of underground solidarity organizations. She made underground solidarity operate immediately when Adam was arrested in the street. She created this very special newspaper, Mazowsze Gazette. It was an exceptional, most reliable source of information found in Poland, especially in this totalitarian enslaved country. Finally, they would persuade us, workers, leaders, that a free person is free from hatred. They should sit and discuss, negotiate, even with those who would close us in prisons before. They convinced us that in a free country, leaders think about future. They told it aloud. They uttered that democracy gives the second life also to those who failed before and were on the wrong side of the barricade. Eventually, it was Adam and Helena. We could say they conceived this baby of a freedom, namely Gazeta Wyborcza newspaper, who continually protects Polish democracy and safeguards this young democracy, and it protects the weaker and poorer entities. It's a gazette, a newspaper which is present everywhere worldwide, who dream about freedom. In front of you, outstanding citizens of Europe, people whom we owe freedom in this part of Europe, Helena Luczywo and Adam Michnik.
Thank you, Władek. Thank you, Fred. I just want to say that it's wonderful that this is a Freedom Award. I must say I'm quite moved by what Władek said. Because freedom, well, freedom is wonderful. Freedom is everything. And helping win freedom for your country is, I think, the greatest joy one can have. Building democracy, well, this is tough and hard. Democracy is not full of joy. Caring for civil rights is also hard work. But all those countries that we're thinking about now, whatever happens, I just wish them some freedom. Even moments of freedom are worth it. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, my English is terrible. I prefer Polish language.
Władek
Frasyniuk, mój przyjaciel,
my dear friend,
jest też
is also
moim współkryminalistą.
My
w tym samym czasie
co-mate. We sat in prison at the same time, and we were judged in the same court proceeding. There is something symbolic in the fact that today Władek
tutaj powiedział o Helence
here told about
i
Helena
o mnie,
and
coś
about
takiego,
me,
co usłyszeliście.
what you've just heard, the things that you have just heard.
Ta nagroda
This
jest
award
oczywiście szczególna.
Is of course a very special award for me.
Nie jest to pierwsza nagroda,
It's not the first award that I've ever received, however, but it is a first award
którą otrzymuję tu,
that I receive here
we Wrocławiu,
in Wrocław.
z rąk Władka.
I receive it from Władek.
To jest nagroda wolności.
This award is a freedom award.
W stanie wojennym
During the marital state, Wrocław
był miastem wolności.
Was the city of
W wielkiej
freedom
mierze
to a large extent
dzięki
thanks to
Władkowi.
Władek.
Dzisiaj
Today,
ta hala
this centenary hall, this beautifully renovated building,
dzięki
thanks to
prezydentowi Rafałowi
Mayor Rafał Dutkiewicz,
prawdopodobnie
probably
najpiękniejszemu
the
prezydentowi
most outstanding mayor and president of
miast dzisiaj.
Polish cities today,
Dzięki
thanks
Hanie
to Hanna Czerwinkowa,
która
who
swoją pasję i miłość włożyła w to,
put her entire passion and love to make this centenary hall what it is now and what it will be in the future, the pearl in the crown of Polish
obiektów tego rodzaju.
buildings of this
Jest to
kind.
wreszcie dla mnie
Finally,
nagroda
for me this is
szczególna,
the special
dlatego,
award
że
because
otrzymałem ją razem z
I received it together with Helena,
osobą
who is a person,
niezwykłą,
a very special person.
dzięki której
Thanks to her,
gazeta, o której
Gazeta.
wspominał tu Władek,
mentioned by Władek,
zaistniała.
was created, was founded, it became what it is now.
Dla nas wszystkich, nie tylko
For
gazeta,
all of us, not only Gazeta
tylko instytucją demokracji polskiej.
is an institution of Polish democracy.
Chcę tutaj wspomnieć
I want to
o nieobecnych.
tell here a few words about the absent people
Jak
here.
wiele
I want to say how much
nasza kraj,
we,
nasza wolność
our country, our freedom owes to
nieobecnym tutaj Rosjanom.
Russians who are not present here, such people like Andrei Sakharov.
Źle bym się czuł, gdybym tego nazwiska
I would feel bad not having mentioned this name today. This is the
dla
award
Gazety Wyborczej,
for Gazeta Wyborcza,
dla jej
for its
dziennikarzy,
journalists,
dla jej redaktorów,
for its editors,
dla jej etosu. I to jest
and
ten etos,
its
który nakazuje nam
pride,
powtarzać
power, which makes us keep repeating after Tadeusz Konwicki the words of an oath that never
skierujemy swojego pióra
we will
do
direct
plemienia.
our pen against our people. This is a newspaper which, again, I'll quote Konwicki here,
Pisze Białoruś,
when it writes about Belarus, it thinks
Dobroruś.
about
Dobroruś,
good Russia, not Belarusia, but good Russia.
skazany na nieszczęście.
It's a wonderful nation that lives hardship today. So from this place today,
Mając świadomość, że
being aware that I'm being listened by
ludzie
most prominent people
20 lat
from the last 20 years in my country, I want to say about him,
przyjaciołom i braciom
I want to say to my friends and brothers in Belarus, please remember, keep in mind that today you are
zapominajcie,
persecuted, but don't forget that after every single, even the longest night,
przychodzi
there comes
świt
dawn,
i że wyjdziecie,
sunrise,
razem
so
wyjdziemy
we together, we will
słońce
go out to the sun of freedom. Stay well.
Thank you, Adam, and thank you, Helena. Adam, I'm very glad you mentioned Russia, because it certainly is our view that a Europe whole and free can never be accomplished without the full integration of Russia. the reset policy of the Obama administration, the reset policy of Poland has opened up new opportunities, new chances. We're moving in the right direction, and I hope that Europe whole and free can be completed with all members included.